Hey everyone, the Treasurer here. Thank you for joining me on my premiere figure review. You know, when I was talking about doing a review here with Mary Aaron, it came to me that I should probably focus on a newer type of figure to help me jumpstart my collection. So I decided that I was going to focus on the AEW Unrivaled Series 1 figures that just came out. So thankfully, I did not put all of my hopes into Mayor Aaron's quest to find the AEW figures, because like most of his mayoral duties, he fell short. So I went out and I found them, and I bought the ones that I could find, and I'm here to say that I'm going to start with those reviews. Now, I mean, I don't know what everybody's complaining about. It's not like they're that hard to find. I mean, it's not like I drove 60 miles round trip, spent 2 to 3 weeks looking for them at every Walmart in my area. I mean, clearly that never happened. So, without further ado, why don't you go ahead and join me on my very first review here on the channel, and we'll start with these AEW figures with Chris Jericho. Now, given that I was a fan of WCW back in the late 90s, I obviously know who Chris Jericho is because he was one of the biggest stars and one of the best talents in the WCW at that time. To be honest, I'm not much of a mint-on-box collector, so most, if not all, of the figures that I will be reviewing and purchasing, for that matter, will be opened and probably displayed open and loose. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and bust this open and take a look at the figure. Hey everyone, before we go ahead and open up this figure to look at the entrance attire and the in-ring attire, I just wanted to take a second to look actually at the box. So I will give Jazzwares, and Jerry Padauer for that matter, kudos for the way that they did this box. I mean, it is just as good as anything out that's been out for a long time. I definitely love the inclusion of the back here where it shows, where Chris Jericho actually wore this ring attire, at Double or Nothing here in Las Vegas. So, yeah, good job to them. Just to keep the cringes down, I'm not going to go ahead and open this on camera. I'm going to open it off camera, but I'll be right back with you. So here is Chris Jericho from the Double or Nothing Las Vegas event wearing his entrance attire. I love the inclusion of the wide-brimmed fedora here on top. See if I can get a little closer look. I really like the attention to detail on it. They seem to really have taken a good step in when they molded that. Looks really good. Moving on down to his jacket. Again, the inclusion of the two tone beads, like the blue ones here and the silver ones on his on the front of his jacket, are very, very true to what it was like when he actually wore it. And then I did just notice when I opened it, because I didn't open it until obviously I started filming this, that they have kind of like either a zipper or some stitching on the back. I really, really like that as well. And then the inclusion of the blue studs here on the bottom. The scarf is what makes this for me. Obviously he wears a scarf whenever, or most of the time at least. The one knock I'll have is that I wish it was a little bit more true to what it was that he wore at that event. The one he wore at that event, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is silver on top, and it goes down into the black. It may be vice versa, I'm not sure, but then it has some tears down here at the bottom. Again, I wish that's just a little nitpick there, but this looks awesome. It looks like it's made out of a more expensive material than what it actually is. And then, obviously moving on, you got the inclusion of the hands here that come with his entrance attire. The leather gloves, so obviously this will be how I display him. It kind of keeps him pretty much intact on the shelf is how I'll display him. And then I'll touch a little bit more on the boots and the legs once we get all this off and show you what the in-ring attire is. So I'll be back with that. All right, and here we have Chris Jericho with his in-ring attire as he comes. I'll go ahead and start from the top and work my way down, just kind of give you my comments as I go. So let's go ahead and start with the face scan. So this is probably the only nitpicky thing, short of the scarf on the entrance attire, that I'm going to have with this figure. You know, talking with Mayor Aaron, maybe I'm a little picky when it comes to face scans, but I'm really having a hard time seeing Chris Jericho in this face scan. It's not horrible. It's not one of the worst I've seen. I believe that the one a little bit of bubbly or whatever figure that was that first came out was probably worse than this. It could just be I'm not used to figures with an actual scowl or any kind of emotion on it. I kind of like more of a deadpan look. But again, I almost think that this guy looks more like the Amazing Jonathan than I do Chris Jericho. Again, I could be wrong. And looking at his picture on the box, it actually appears that Chris has a beard kind of running up the side of his face there. He doesn't here, so it's just the goatee. Maybe that's what's doing it. I don't know. That, or maybe I'm just too picky. You guys will let me know. But again, it's okay. It's not as crisp as I'd like to see it. Moving on down to the torso. I like the double jointed torso. It kind of gives you a little bit more articulation on the figure. One thing I will note that obviously Jeremy Padawer and Jazzwares did note already. The skin tones are off on these figures, so they're about a little bit lighter than what they should be, and that's something they're going to address in the upcoming ones here, Series 2. But again, like I said, I like the torso. I think it looks pretty good. Moving on over to the arms, we'll go ahead and start here with his right arm. I like the inclusion of the tattoo here on his forearm. See if I can get it to focus. There we go. Yeah, the inclusion on the tattoo on his forearm is nice. One thing I will point out is the black bands on his arms kind of are nice in a way. So if you take this hand off and put a glove on, it looks like he just has a glove on all the way up to his forearm. But when you take it off, it looks like he's got the wrist bracelet. So it's kind of a dual purpose there. I think that's kind of neat. Moving on over to his left arm, and you can see obviously the intricate detail on his tattoo on that arm. Really like the inclusion of that. It looks really good. And then obviously on his left hand, they did include the other tattoo. If I can get it to focus. Maybe. There we go. So again, very good attention to detail on that. Now moving on down to his lower half. I love the shorts. I like the gray belt that comes with it. Looks like they paid really good attention to all the details there. The silver outlines, even with the inclusion of the knee pads, all the way down to his boots that are kind of loosely tied up. I definitely like that. I like the articulation down here. You kind of have freedom of movement everywhere. But yeah, all in all, man, this looks like a great figure. I'm definitely happy this was the first one I decided to review. Overall, I give AEW Unrivaled Series 1 Chris Jericho a score of 9 out of 10. Jeremy Padawer and Jazzware Toys should be proud to show that this is the first line of figures that they have done. They've done a great job. It would have gotten a 10 out of 10 had the face scan been a little bit better to my liking. However, being new to the game, it might be that I'm just too picky and I don't really know what normal is. But with all that being said, thank you for coming here to Lumberjillville and watching my premiere review. Please remember to hit like and subscribe to join our family here, and I'll see you on the next review. Thanks, everyone.